Hello, friends. This is Raman. Welcome to market analysis for the week of October the 18th. We'll start things off by looking at the calendar for this week. Starting things off, we have Chinese GDP number and industrial production numbers coming out at 10 p.m. Eastern on Sunday here. Chinese data has been having impact on the worldwide markets, so keep an eye on what's going on with China as it may roll into other markets as well. Monday here is fairly quiet. We have a couple of FOMC members speaking, and we also have for Canada, we have federal election. Going into the Asian session on Monday here, we have monetary policy meeting minutes for Australian dollar, which will be important. On Tuesday, we start things off with trade balance for Swiss franc at 2 a.m. Eastern, and then we have the current account for the Eurozone at 4 a.m. We also have Bank of England Governor Carney speaking at 6 a.m., which will be important for the British pound. To the US session, we have building permits for the US dollar and also the housing starts and wholesale numbers for the Canadian dollar. Again, we have two FOMC members speaking as well. We have GDP price index, which will be important for the New Zealand dollar. Dairy prices are always market movers for the New Zealand dollar. So if you're trading that pair, keep an eye out for that. We also have the Fed chair, Yellen, speaking. She's not expected to say anything that is divergent from what has been said before. However, anytime we have Yellen speaking, it can have potential to move the market. So keep an eye out for that. That's at 11 a.m. Eastern on Tuesday. Then going into Wednesday here, we have public sector net borrowing number, which is usually tends to be important for the British pound, coming out at 4:30 a.m. Eastern. And then into the US session, we have a very important Canadian dollar news. We have a Bank of Canada monetary policy report, we have Bank of Canada rate statement, and the overnight rate at 10 a.m. At 11:15 a.m., we have Bank of Canada press conference. So, a very important day for the Canadian dollar if you're trading that pair. We also have crude oil inventories for at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Going into the Asian session here, we have RBA Assistant Governor Eddy speaking and quarterly business confidence number for Australian dollar. Again, something to keep an eye on if you're trading the Australian dollar. Thursday into the Euro session, we have retail sales number for the British pound at 4:30 a.m. Eastern, and then minimum bid rate for the euro at 7:45 a.m. and ECB press conference at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. We also have core retail sales data for the Canadian dollar as well as unemployment claims for the US dollar. So again, this 8:30 a.m. is very important for these three currencies: Canadian dollar, euro, and US dollar. We have consumer confidence number coming out for the Eurozone at 10 a.m. Eastern and existing home sales for the US dollar. And then going into Friday, we have French flash manufacturing PMI number and flash services PMI number for the Eurozone here. Then we have German manufacturing PMI and services PMI number, and overall flash manufacturing PMI and services PMI number for the Eurozone. Into the New York session, we have Canadian core CPI inflation data coming out. We have the core CPI number and CPI number for the Canadian dollar here. And that's it for the week here. We do, just a reminder, we have daylight savings time shift for the Eurozone and for the British for UK. So just a reminder in that respect. All right, let's take a look at our charts now, technical analysis. To start things off, we will look at the euro. We're looking at the weekly chart for euro US dollar. The weekly candle close quite bearish here. We have seen that the price came and tested the high here 1488 and then dropped from there. So closing and giving it a very bearish bias. It is trading within this triangle. We saw the price came and tested the bottom. It has come and tested the bottom of the range several times and then went and tested the top here again, and looks like it has rejected that, and now it is sitting at the top of the range here at 1326. If we see the price hold up here, it could potentially go up, test this 1480 number again, and if it holds above, we could see price move towards this 117. So be aware of that. The bias based on the weekly chart is bearish. However, it is we could see the price bounce up here to the upside and potentially break to the upside as well. So just to keep that in mind. Looking at the daily chart here, we do see a bearish bias on Euro US dollar. The price has come and tested the bottom here. Now, if it does manage to break to the downside, we're looking for a potential back test of this level and further move to the downside. Looking at the pound US dollar here, this is the weekly chart, and as we can see, the candle here is a lot more bullish than what we saw on the euro. So based on the weekly candle for the British pound, we are looking at a bullish to neutral bias for the British pound. So in this case, we could see we saw the price come to 5500 level, 155. However, it wasn't able to hold above that and retraced from that level. So the first level that we're looking at is this 5380 level, and then 5330 level as the next level. If it does hold below this 5330, we'd be looking for price to come down, come to the downside. However, we may see a bounce off of 5380 or 5330, and we could see price go back to the upside and test this 5500 level again and potentially go up higher to 5650. So based on the weekly bias, we are bullish to neutral. Let's take a look at the daily here. We have seen the daily candles closing to the downside. However, the candles are very, very small. So again, giving it a bit of a neutral bias. It's not completely bearish at this point. So again, price will have to contend with this strong support level here at 5380 and then 5330 or 20 level would be important as well for the British pound. All right, looking at dollar CAD here, we saw last couple of weeks we saw nice push to the downside, and this week actually closed with a very neutral bias. As we can see, the price went up and rejected the top, came down and ran into trouble at this support at 128.20. So based on this is a very neutral bias for the dollar CAD as well. So we'll be looking to see if the price holds this level at 128.20. If it does hold this level, we may see the price come and test this level again and bounce off to the upside, as this is important level. As we can see, the price, we didn't see the price come here. This was March of 2015. It hasn't been here since then. So this is a very important support level. If it comes below this level, we'll be looking at this 2650 level as the next support level. So based on the weekly bias for dollar CAD, we are neutral. Taking a look at the daily candle here, we did see price come in again, test this level, 2820 level, bounced off of that. The following day, it bounced off of that as well. So giving it a bit of a neutral bias over the last couple of days, trading days for the week. And now we may see the price go up high from here as well. Again, we'd be open to trading both sides of this. We may see that we do have elections for Canada this week, so which may actually change things for this pair. So do keep an eye on that. Based on the candle, we'll be looking to trade again the high, the top, and the bottom. So we could take a short at the 130.80 and potentially a long at 128.20 level. Again, open to trading both sides of the range. Looking at the New Zealand US dollar here, again, we see a neutral candle. It has been bullish for the last few weeks. So this is bullish to neutral for the New Zealand dollar. We did see the price come and test the high at 6,900 and a rejection off of that level. So looking at the daily here, again, we see a bit of a tweezer top type of two pins into the 6,900 level. So nice rejection of that level. And again, so we'll have to see if the price holds above the 6740 level. This is a strong support. If the price holds above, we'll be looking for price to go and test the high again. And at that point, if it holds above, then we're looking for a potential move to the upside. And if it doesn't, if it holds below this 6740 level, we'll be looking for 6600 level to be tested again. So again, based on our weekly bias here, this would be bullish to neutral. So we could see the price come up high and drop, or we could see the price go to the bottom 6600 here, and we may see rejection or reversal at that level as well. Looking at the Australian Aussie US dollar here, we see again a neutral to bearish bias looking at the weekly chart here. Let's go to our daily. As we can see, the price came and tested the 73.80 level. However, it wasn't able to hold that level, and we saw a couple of rejections off of this level, and the price starting to trade within this range. So this 7200 at the bottom right now looks like the price wants to come down and test the 7200. So we'll be looking for that, and we'll be looking for a reaction at that level. If it manages to hold below this, then we are looking for further move to the downside. However, if this level holds, the 7200 level holds, we're looking for the price to go up back into the top of the range and looking to trade this range here. If the price holds above this 73.80 level, we're looking for a potential move to the upside. However, based on the weekly here, we're looking at neutral to bearish bias for the Australian US dollar. That's it for the analysis for this week. I will see you again next week.